Well, hello. Let's see if I can get this audio off here. All right. Well, hello. Dan Kaufman here, coming to you live and direct from Portland, Oregon. It's been a while. I was looking back at it. Haven't done a live thing like this since April or earlier part of April. So I've just been, sheltering in place. Well, no, not completely. If you've been following me at all, wherever on the social medias, you see that I've been out and about doing some things, following social distancing guidelines, and getting outside. And that's why I'm actually here, is because I want to talk about a rally. The most important thing that today I want to talk about is a rally that's coming up on Thursday. And actually, what's really important for today is the last day to vote in Oregon. Usually vote by mail. I've actually got my vote by mail ballot in way back in, let's see, when did they receive it? You know, it's cool here because you can find out when they've got your ballot. So here's a picture of that. Can drop off your ballot in a number of places. So go to the Multnomah County, if you're in Multnomah County like me, or anywhere in Oregon, go to your county elections department and find out where you can still drop your ballot off. It's obviously too late to mail it in. But vote by mail has just been a great blessing to the state of Oregon and other communities and other states where they have this, because we're able to vote from the safety of our own homes, not have to line up at polling places and expose the folks who work at polling places, typically older folks who volunteer, to potentially getting the COVID virus. So that has been great. Now you can drop your ballot off by car at some of the libraries around here. At the Multnomah County Library, they're actually accepting ballots at some of the drop sites. I didn't realize that until today. So that's pretty exciting. And I would definitely say our democracy is really important, and definitely want to see folks get in and take advantage of their democracy, because it matters. So I'm hoping everybody can hear me all right. We're warming up this live broadcast. I'm not going to be on here for long. I just kind of wanted to run through and promo some things that I'm up to and some things that I've been noticing, and then maybe play a song at the end. Okay, so let's see. We've knocked out votes. I'm going to just check. I got my little checklist here today, so it's be somewhat organized. So check the vote today. Done. So the rally Thursday, solidarity with postal, grocery, and hospital workers. And actually, I'm going to put a little date on that right here. That is 5:21, 9 a.m. Okay. And boom. Okay. So this is going to be a really neat rally. It's by some of the postal workers and others who are going to be meeting at the East Side Portland Post Office there on 7th Avenue. And it's going to be a caravan. So they're going to be driving their cars around. So they're going to be practicing social distancing, and they'll be the other fellow postal workers will be loading their trucks to go out, and they're just going to let them know that they're there for support. Over 60 postal workers in the United States died so far because of the coronavirus. So these are frontline workers that we depend on. And the post office is actually under attack in a number of ways for a lot of different reasons. I'm going to get into that in just a second. The rally is then going to go to Fred Meyer's, which is really a corporation called Kroger that owns Fred Meyer's. And they also own QFC here. They have been paying their workers hazard pay, but they've decided not to, even though the hazard is still there. And they're actually even trying to claw back some of that hazard pay from their workers. So this caravan is going to go over to Fred Meyer's, and they're going to circle around Fred Meyer's on Hawthorne. And then from there, they're going to be headed over to a hospital. I believe it's Providence. But you can find this all on their Facebook event page. And in fact, I pretty much spelled it out like they have it on their thing. Solidarity with Postal, Grocery, and Hospital Workers. You can find the event there on my dancoffinband.com page if you want to link there. So I would love to see you join the rally, support and promote the rally. And what I'm going to do is show up with the disco trike. I'll be trying to do a live stream or at least do some video recording. And we're going to play some music to kind of liven things up. Maybe just some disco trike tunes. Maybe I'll bring the guitar and, play some songs as well. Just have to see how it's going, see what the weather's like. But I am going to be out there and probably some friends as well. And we'll be also putting on masks and social distancing. So, I do believe it's really important that we go out there and still retain our right to the freedom of assembly. It doesn't mean we need to be stupid about it, and it doesn't mean we need to bring guns. Peaceful assembly is allowed. I'm not sure what a gun has a good place to do within a peaceful assembly, or knife, or nunchucks, or throwing stars, or karate moves. I don't know about any of those things at a peaceful assembly to redress grievances, or in this case, to support and show solidarity for our fellow workers and people who are out there being exposed to, and in a dangerous way. I mean, people are dying who are working in the front lines, and so it is happening. This is not just some hoax that we're talking about here. It's real life stuff. It's life and death. But yes, we still want to retain the things that are so fundamental to us. And there's a lot of balancing act that's happening, right? Like, we're getting new information, we're getting old information, we're getting bogus information, so we're trying to do our best to sort out all this stuff, right? And there's a balance, because we still have to eat, and we still have to live, and we still got to exercise, and we still got to see the people we love. And so how do we do this? And how do we do all these things safely? Well, we listen to experts, and then we do things responsibly, and we pay attention to what's going on and do our best to help make sure that we're not exposing the most vulnerable people in our community to dangers. And for me, that doesn't go just for this virus. It goes for a lot of things that we've determined are more important. The economy is more important than people's lives. And to me, people's lives is key to the economy, right? So when the economy runs you over for your life because it wants to make more, numbers in a bank account somewhere, well, that's not okay, right? But when the economy is there to help support us and bring us life and livelihood and happiness and the pursuit of what's important in our family, friends, community, then that economy is important. And we need to put our value system stamp on what the economy is and what it means to us. So kind of rambling there on the side note, but some people have been comparing people getting hit by automobiles to this COVID, and like, look how many people die because of automobile wrecks and automobile pollution, and that's okay. Well, no, it's not okay, actually. And if the automobile situation was expanding exponentially in terms of the deaths that we have, we might put a stop to it. I believe it's completely unreasonable and unnecessary that we have about 50 to 60,000 people die a year because of automobile wrecks, and probably another 50 to 60 or more thousand die because of automobile-related pollution. And then, of course, we've got global warming, which is related to automobile pollution as well. So we've got all these things that we could also look at automobiles. So we can do both things at the same time. But there's something about this disease that I want to remind folks: when it gets out of hand and it takes hold into a place like a nursing home or a city, and it starts to get out of hand, then the morgues fill up, and then the hospital system collapses. And so that's what we're trying to prevent. And when the hospital system collapses, and people die of other things like, infections and automobile accidents and accident. You know what? I hate that word accident. It's not an accident. we know this shit's going to happen and we could prevent it. So that's not an accident. Anyway, try not to rant here too long. I would love to, if you can join me here live, that'd be great. If you can join down at the post office, if you want to drive and do your driving thing and not have any wrecks while you're driving, then that would be great. But show your support for essential workers by however, whatever works best for you. So again, that's going to be Thursday morning, 9 a.m. at the East Side Post Office. And again, we will try to live stream from dankaufmanband.com. We probably won't be live streaming from, we won't likely live stream from Facebook because it's just too complicated, but maybe we will. Who knows? And again, we'll probably video or something. I don't know. We'll be there. Okay. I promise. If I have to put on a raincoat and, you know, ride my bike around and not film, I'll do that because I think it's important. All right. So I want to celebrate. Okay. So we talk about postal workers, healthcare workers, grocery store workers. I want to talk specifically about the United States Postal Service. One of the things I plan to do on Thursday is really, and today at 8 o'clock, when we start getting our election results, is celebrate our vote by mail system, which, by the way, I was opposed to originally because I thought, and this was before, you know, we were hooked up to the internet pretty much. We started getting, I thought that there would be opportunities for fraud. Of course, there's always opportunities for fraud in any system, but it turns out that the vote by mail system is a great paper system, and it really does actually help prevent fraud. And the United States Postal Service is key to making this system happen. And surprisingly enough, the post office is being attacked right now by folks who don't really want to see democracy happen in the United States. They loathe democracy because with democracy and a strong democracy, they wouldn't have power. So it's when I'm watching this video back at me, it's kind of weird. It's going from kind of a blue color to a red color, and it's kind of driving me crazy. But anyway, that aside, there are folks, blue, red, right? I'm fine if you're blue. I'm fine if you're red. I'm kind of not either to me. And in some ways, I'm more about up and down than left and right. Personally, that's kind of how I'm moving in this day, in this time. But what I think is really important is that we have a democracy, a democratic republic. The two things going together is what we have anyway. You know, and I don't want to see us turn into a complete totalitarian state dictatorship. And well, that's what happens when you start having rule of the minority. Because that's how they keep their minority rule. When the majority when the majority wants to have a viable post office, when the majority want to have universal health care, when the majority want to have work to deal with climate change and pollution, when those are the values of the majority are not expressed and the policy parameters are not happening, then we don't have a democracy, right? Ultimately. And that's what's happened and happening in our country. And it's getting worse. So vote by mail is a way particularly in this time of crisis, that we can promote democracy, because people from the safety of their own homes will be able to vote in advance of the election. And that's going to increase voter turnout, particularly in this time of a health crisis. The minority party does not want, or the minority, the anti-democratic folks do not want to see full participation because they know they will lose. So they're doing everything they can to keep people away. They want the Postal Service to fail, and they want the polling places, especially where you have people of color, young people voting. They want them They want them to be crowded and inaccessible, and then people will just not vote. And so I think it's really important that we support the U.S. Postal Service right now, and we get our senators and Congress people to understand that it's very critical that the post office be saved and that we promote vote by mail and absentee balloting in this nation. And that's something that we can do for the November general election. And right now, we've got a new postmaster general coming in. We've got a new postal board of directors who are going to try to really dismantle the system and let it get to the point where it's almost dying, and then force the Democrats to vote just to keep the thing barely alive. We need something stronger than that. We need a healthy postal system. So here's one of the things I propose that you get a hold of your Congress people and let them know about this, one. But two, I'm proposing that we start especially for smaller transactions between friends and business people that you work with, that rather than using the dollar for a means of exchange, you use stamps. And here's the beauty: you can buy forever stamps, and they're going to be a hedge against inflation. So if when the stamps go up to 60 cents or 70 cents, you bought them at 55 right now. How about that? You've just hedged against inflation, and you could do any sort of small transactions like in the neighborhood of 20 to $100 more if you like. I suppose if it caught on, we could be using stamps as an alternative form of currency to the U.S. military-backed petrodollar that is owned by the Federal Reserve, which is the banks. Yeah, I would love to see us move away from the dollar, the Federal Reserve note, myself, at least partially, And we can have complementary currencies, and this is key. So this is a great way to then also support the U.S. Postal Service, because then you will be putting money into that system, and they need it right now because the amount of things that are being mailed right now is very low. So there's another thing you could do: write postcards. 35 cents. You can write first class letters for 55 cents. You can send packages and things in the mail, cookies, stuff like that. So these are ways that you can support the Postal Service. And then again, let your senator and your federal senator and Congress people know that you value this service, which is, to me, is as important in small communities as it is anywhere else. These are the critical places. You go to the smallest towns and they have post offices, and that's where people can have connection to the rest of the nation for 55 cents, right? It's crazy. So next thing, we really do need to support. We need to support democracy and really steer away from voter suppression, which is one of the things that some folks want to make happen. I want to show you a screenshot right now. Going to see folks try to actually make it even more difficult and more scary to go and show up and vote and do their democratic right. They are looking to make 20 to 50,000 volunteers that are going to protect against voter fraud, which, by the way, it's just not a thing. This is a made up deal. You can read about. Let's see if I have the. Here's another. This is from. Again, it's not a thing. And it's especially not a thing in a vote by mail system. So there's a solution, but that's not the solution they want. They really want people not to show up, and they want to make it hard. So I will move on from this, but this is important stuff. because if we don't have a free and fair election in November, and we don't decisively move away from totalitarianism, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The right to assemble and all the other things you cherish in this country, believe me, I know there's a whole lot of history and a whole lot of wrong, but it can get worse. It can always get worse, right? Don't ever say what's the worst that can happen, because you'll find out. That's been my experience. So that saying all that, I wanted to say some good news, right? If you've been following me at all way back in March and April, I was definitely out there concerned about the fact that water was being shut off in the city of Portland. The water fountains were off, that water was not available. Let me see if I have a shot of that. Precedence over everything. If you don't have access to water, you can't live. Now, there's still a lot of problems with the situation in terms of folks who are having to live on the street, being able to get the things they need, access to water and sanitation, food, the basics, right? Like, and I don't know if you've been around, your community, but here in Portland, it's exploding. And it was already exploding before anything happened with COVID-19. Now it's just off the hook. These are our brothers and sisters out here, So I am really happy to see that Portland has started stepping up and doing the right thing in terms of opening up water, but there's so much more we need to do here. And it's a complex, it's not an easy answer, it's not an easy solve. But we've got to have compassion and we've got to work for it and do everything. And there are people out there just volunteering to get food to people, to protect people in a lot of different ways. So, and I am all in favor of that. Mutual aid, direct. We, at this point right now, have lost a lot of faith in that our government is going to be able to manage this crisis, even on a local level. So, so we really have to be looking out for each other. So just two more things here. The hurricane song is about to be released. I've been working on this. It's taken longer than expected, although I expected it to take longer than expected. So I guess it's not exactly unexpected, but it's coming out soon. You'll be able to see it in all your favorite places. Now, if you emailed me, dan@pdxk.com, and let me know that you want to get on my mailing list, I'll send you a copy of the song before anybody else gets it. A VIP copy just for you, for free, okay? I might add. So the hurricane song is about, well, I'll tell you the first part of it. The hurricane will land and blow you far away, and then you'll long for the records you wanted to play, the one that's got your brand new favorite song, the one you were going to teach your friends to sing along. So let's talk about love. It's the one about love, 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 and love, love, life. All right, so that's, and it talks about, it goes on in the second and third verse talking about like finding what's important and moving on. And I wrote it many years ago. Several years ago I wrote it, and I think it's like, wow, it's come into being important now. So at least for me. So produced it with the full band, and I'm really excited to get it out there. It'll be on all the usual places on the internet. So if you like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, Amazon or whatever it is, any of those evil corporations that you like to listen to your music on that drive us musicians into poverty, Okay, sorry, no ranting allowed at this point. It's trying to stay positive. Anyhow, it will be on all the usual places, and someday I'm looking forward to playing it live in a nightclub with people dancing and sweating all together. In the meantime, I'm going to have to settle for playing it outside at social distance. Hopefully to lots of folks who are 6 feet apart wearing masks. So yeah, join the Dan Kaufman Band email list. You can find it at dankaufmanband.com. And I'm going to play a song off of Requiem for the Rogue. If you would like a copy of that album in CD form, send me a note and I will mail one to you, but send me a little bit of money for that, okay? And or you can listen to it, the complete version, or just the songs on, again, all the usual places that are destroying independent musicians. No, just kidding. Well, not really. All right, so here's a song. All right, here's a song off of Requiem for the Rogue called Rusty Cage, and it's by Soundgarden, and Johnny Cash did a cover of it, so I'm kind of doing it in the style that he did, and, you know, I'm ready to break my rusty cage. How about you? Just at a safe distance, of course. You wired me awake and hit me with a hand of broken nails. You pulled my lead and cranked my chain to watch my blood begin to boil. Well, I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. Too cold to start a fire, I'm burning diesel, I'm burning dinosaur bones. I'll take the river down to still water and ride a pack of dogs. Well, I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. I'm gonna break my rusty cage and the forest fire burns on the side of the road, shines back like God's eyes. And you put it in cruise control, 'cause you're barely in control. Well, I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. And the rain beats down like ice picks on your steel shore. The homeless looking for the homes, and the dogs searching for the bones. Well, I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. All right. Well, let's break our rusty cages together in the best way we know how. All right, and be there for everybody. And don't forget to tell the people that you love them and you're thinking about them. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching, and tune in on Thursday around 9 a.m. We'll see. Sometimes these outside live streams are more difficult than expected, but we'll do our best. And yeah, have a good one.